when it came to Spence versus Crawford, who did you have winning going into that fight?
I never wanted to say it online, but me and my son said, if he come out sharp as he did with Sean Porter, it was all bad for Errol Spence, and that's exactly what he did. So we knew T-Bud was too skillful for Errol. Errol always had shitty feet, and I had picked him early, but I made a mistake and set it online. And I gotta, I wanted to keep it neutral.
Right.
I had T-Bud.
So
he had T-Bud too.
Okay, so at the end of the fight, when the bell rang, when it was done, what'd you come away thinking?
I was pissed. I was more pissed.
Why?
Yeah, because
we didn't want it to be a one-sided fight.
Yeah, we didn't. We wanted to at least see a little more. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there was a point. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was like, you almost started feeling kind of bad for Errol. Like he did not look good. But the face, the way he was taking the shots, it didn't look good.
I've seen worse ass whooping like that in the 80s.
I have, but can you name one mega fight now that was that one-sided in history? Name another one.
Let me. Yeah, hold on. Floyd Arterial Gotti.
Gotti who?
He said Gotti who? Mayweather Gotti.
I don't think that was a mega fight though, because nobody really thought Gotti had a chance.
Okay.
What fight where it was that even? Like a Roy Jones and James Toney kind of thing, where at the time nobody really knew.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'll come up with one probably later, but not off of the top of my head.
So the ones I came up with, and I've talked to people about this, Pacquiao versus De La Hoya.
Okay.
People forget that De La Hoya was favorite. Yeah. And that was in one side. And then Tyson versus Lewis was pretty mega, and people kind of split down the middle.
Yeah. Lewis did Tyson dirty.
Man. But, I don't know if you know my story, but I used to train with Kevin Rooney. I was a Kevin Rooney fighter years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you that to tell you that, like, I know that style really well, and Mike had abandoned the fundamentals of the custom model style a long time ago. Mm. So I think in 1988 Mike Tyson, I struggle to think of somebody who could have beat him. Mike Tyson.
Absolutely not. Oh, people said Ali Liston. Other people said
Canelo versus Mayweather.
Yeah, Canelo Mayweather. And then George Foreman fought, who did he lose to? Who was that kid he lost to? Shit.
Foreman?
His first loss.
Ali's the first loss.
No, it was, it wasn't Ali. No, his comeback fight after he lost to Ali and then lost to the other kid. It was two kids, and then he came back and fought another. He fought somebody else. I forget who it was.
But like mega fights, so like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one-sided ass whoopings. Like I forgot the one you just said, but that wasn't that one-sided.
Yeah. Ali Liston.
That okay, but it wasn't like 7-8 rounds of like people couldn't even. You know what I mean? Like we were just at this point with Crawford and Spence. You were like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like you knew. And you're right. I'm kind of like you. I wasn't pissed, but I was disappointed because I was like, this is a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, bro. We spent money to see this. I wanted to see some.
Yeah. There was no chance. In my head, I'm like, Spence, because Spence landed a couple solid shots, and it did nothing.
Yeah, and it still won't be a chance at all.
That was my next question. They're going to rematch at 54. How do you see that going?
T-Bud is just, unless you could take my feet, pair them with King Jr.'s feet, and surgically give them to Errol. Nothing you can.
No chance.
Nah.
No chance, huh?
No chance. Yeah.
I mean, do you even want to see the fight? Like, if it was up to you, would you not even have it?
I want to see it from the coaching standpoint. I want to see how can you coach yourself into at the very least a competitive fight.
Right.
How can you coach into a competitive fight? What are you going to change to make it competitive? I want to see that.
Well, let me ask you. Let's say you, because you're a coach and a good one, let's say you are training Errol. What do you do to make him have a shot?
First off, I'm going to tell him flat out, we're going to work on some things first. We're going to take some time out, and we're going to work on some things. We're not going to rush this fight because if you rush it, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same results. And I don't know if they have a time limit on the rematch clause or not. However, I will see if they can grant us that time because there's a lot of things that I work on. One of the things is obviously how Errol uses his feet in sparring. I would reconstruct the ring in his gym. I would make it bigger. I would make him a 20-footer, 21, 22-footer. I will make him spar there, and I will make him spar nothing but boxers. Okay?
Mark.
Nothing but boxers. I don't care about no heavy hitting or none of that shit. And see, anybody can fight. You can fight going forward if you can eventually catch up to the guy. 9 times out of 10, you ain't catching up to T-Bud, and then he's shooting some fire back.
Yeah.
So I will footwork for sure, 100%. That's automatic. And then I will work on his vision too.
What about making him get way more acclimated to fighting other southpaws?
Yeah, that because some things okay, let me say this. I'm gonna say it like this. His problem didn't look like he had an issue fighting with southpaws because we couldn't even get there. We couldn't even get there.
True.
Shit, he was getting beat up so fucking much we couldn't tell. Oh, he ain't staying away from the left hook. He ain't staying away from the right hook. He can't step. He can't move away from his left hand. We couldn't see that because it was such an ass whooping.
True.
You know. Yeah, lifetime play. King was gonna fight, but I'm sorry. Don't. If you came to see King, we apologize. King his opponent dropped out, so King won't be. We will be there, but he won't be fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what we will work on. I will work on that with him, his vision, because you can have great defense, but I want you to see the shots coming. I want you to see I want you to see the shots progress. We're gonna learn this. We're gonna learn his manner. When I'm watching a fighter, I'm studying your mannerisms. You know, no one has. I hate to give all this stuff out, but I do it anyway. But no one created a new punch ever in boxing. Right. Everybody is throwing the same punches. Right. So why can't you slip those punches? Why can't we get down his mannerisms in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes? True. You know. With that said, yeah, like the mannerisms, vision, his IQ, because you know every power puncher's Achilles heel or their weakest part sometimes is their IQ. Just like a lot of sharp, quick fighters, sometimes their Achilles or their worst part to them is their defense. Right. You know, so I will work on IQ with him a lot. You know, I will give him and I will mix it up. Right. A lot of times he don't have that he not athletic enough for me. You know. Right. What do I mean by mannerisms? I mean that if you walk to I'll give you a little snippet here. What's his name? Lomachenko. Right. He is terrible when he fight. He cannot fight to his right side. I don't know if anybody pay attention to that. No, I never saw that. But yeah, he is so bad when he fights to his right side. He'll take a step, go under, and bring the back foot with him. Take that right foot with him, go under, and then take the left foot with him. Okay. He does that every freaking time. Not every time, but most of the time, unless he rhythm steps out. So when I say mannerisms, that's a mannerism, right there. Okay. I understand that when he takes that step over, he's vulnerable. He'll shoot, but he's not going to shoot crazy because he can't. It's hard for him to fight to the right side. He goes to his left all day long. Huh. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So you pick up on all the habits that they have. What I was impressed with most of Bud was everybody saw his counterpunching, right? But to me, and I'm sure you picked this up too, being a coach, his traps that he set to initiate Errol Spence to throw so he could counter, to me, was brilliant. Okay, say that part again. He would set traps, Bud, to make Errol engage, and then Bud would counter those engagements. Oh yeah. So to me, that was like, because people don't talk about that much,
Because the average eye, I feel like, doesn't see that. They just see,
Yeah.
they just see Errol going forward and Bud countering, but there was a lot more in there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you? Okay, so Charlo and Canelo are fighting. So I'm going to keep on the topic of Errol, but I'm curious who you think is going to win between Charlo. So who's going to win between Charlo and Canelo, first off?
Shit, man.
That's a tough one, huh?
Yeah, because we screaming. I'm screaming Canelo. We screaming Canelo. Everybody's screaming Canelo. 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 I hear y'all. But I'm just watching. Um, I'm just watching, like, stylistically, he got punched. Charlo got punched on in the first fight, somewhat the second fight, but he got punched on by what's the guy from Detroit?
That fought Charlo?
Yeah, the one from Detroit. He trained. He was in Alicia Baumgartner's corner.
Don't remember. Don't remember.
Shit, Harris.
Tony Harrison?
Who?
Tony Harrison?
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, him.
There
Okay.
we go.
Y'all too loud. Okay, so Tony was crazy when he was outboxing him. But does Canelo still have that going back outboxing? Can he bring that Triple G Canelo back? Right? Anybody, we know that if you stand in front of Charlo, he got lingering power. You're not just going to stand right there. Now, don't get me wrong. He's been hit by the biggest and the best and the hardest. To be completely honest with you. But bro, like Charlo has a chance. How about this? I'll give you a percentage.
Yeah.
60,
Let's do that.
65-35
For Canelo.
Canelo.
The problem, I agree with you. Canelo has proven that he can get hammered, by the best, and he doesn't even blink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, that's the question mark for Charlo. How does Charlo take a shot like that from Canelo?
Facts. Go ahead, share the last one with your sister.
And do you think the weight jump is going to really make a big difference? Because I've heard that Charlo really is about 175. He walks around at 175, 180. So do you think it'll make a difference? Do you think that'll play into Canelo's favor or not? The fact that it's, was it two weight class jump? Or three? Two.
Let me say this. I don't believe it'll hurt him going up. Not Charlo, because he looks huge. He does. He's not a small guy.
No.
Do I think it'll hurt him going down? Yes. But I don't think it'll hurt him going up. I don't personally think this fight is going to hurt him at all. Can he stand under Canelo's shots? I don't know. Shit, most people can't.
Right.
So I don't see him losing.
Okay.
I see him. I see him losing, but I see him really cracking Charlo. And like you said, that's a good question. Can Charlo stand under it?
Can he? And because I was at the press conference here in New York. I'm 5'11" as well. He's my height.
Yeah.
Canelo was around 5'7", 5'8" tops, but Canelo had a thicker frame. So and it's hard to tell. But okay, so now we'll see what happens with them. But the reason why I brought it up was, how do you think Bud fares against either one of those guys, the winner?
I see Bud beating Charlo. I can see that. I can see him beating Charlo. Do I think it's going to be easy? Fuck no. But I can see him beating him.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that. Canelo, let's see what Canelo comes in this fight here. Let's see what Canelo shows up in this fight. Because if I'm not mistaken, T-Bud and Canelo are about the same height.
They are.
Super size difference, huge size difference.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't make a fight to make the money. I understand it, but to beat him, That's going to be a reach. That's a reach.
So you would lean towards Canelo.
Yes.
Yeah. Because so Canelo has told us that the last two fights where, he lost to Bivol and then he didn't look that good against, was it Ryder?
Yeah.
He said that there was, and maybe you remember, I don't know what it was, but he said he had something wrong with him, which is why he wasn't himself. You heard that?
No, I didn't hear that.
He said that. He said either he didn't train hard, maybe people watching can tell us, either he didn't train hard or there was something going on why he was like, I wasn't 100% myself.
I guess that could go two ways because you've been doing this longer than a lot of people have been alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've been doing this since you were 15. Wait, 15 or 14 or something
15,
like
he's
that, right?
turned pro, yeah.
Come on, man. You've been doing this since you were 15. You don't know your body yet? And then on the flip side of that is, okay, everybody's prone to injury, and everybody is prone to have a bad day. And even the greats have bad days. So, okay. But come on, bro. You don't know your body yet, bro? Come on. No bad days for you, bro.
You don't believe that? You think it was just talking?
I can't say. I don't know what to believe on that one. Yeah.
I mean, he did look slightly like with Bivol. He kind of did a thing where he laid on the ropes and kind of let Bivol get off, and he didn't do much coming back. But is that because Bivol had the distance, or is that because Canelo
did hurt
his hand? I mean,
he didn't have nothing for Bivol.
No,
you can't. Huh?
Yeah, it looked like that, but then there was a part of me like usually he tries harder, and it looked like at certain points it looked like he wasn't trying, and I didn't know if that's because Bivol just had him timed perfectly or what. You know what I mean?
I mean, we would have to name another great boxer that's going to touch you, that's going to give you an amateur style. He's going to throw a nice volume amount of. He's going to throw a nice amount of punches, a nice volume of punches. But and we would have to look and see when the last time he actually fought somebody like that.
Right.
He hasn't fought anybody that can touch you and be like, nah, bro. You ain't touching me back. Or if you do touch me, it's going to be on my shoulders or my arm.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to take a good shot from you. I'm going to take a good shot. So with that said, we haven't seen a boxer. Last boxer we seen was a Daniel Jacob, and he didn't box him at all. Laura, we seen what happened in that fight, a great southpaw boxer. Floyd, we seen what happened, right? So I put Bivol in that category with boxers. He's a boxer. And he knows his distance. He knows his timings. He has a good volume. He has great stamina. He's not going to lag at the end, so you can walk him down like Caleb Plant and then punch on him.
Right.
He's not going to fade. So like my boy First 48 said, man, Canelo was baiting for real. He was
hitting him in his arm, which I don't know if you knew this, but Rocky Marciano used to do that. He used to hit people's arms so they couldn't hold their hands up by the end of the 15.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working for Canelo, but he kept doing it, which I thought was weird. Like, he bruised the dude's arms up, but Bivol, it didn't affect him. He was still hitting him. He still keeps keeping his hands up.
Yeah.
It was a weird game plan to me. But, okay, so well, we're going to see what happens because Canelo and Charlo could conceivably be wrapped up fighting each other for another 1 or 2 fights with rematches and blah, blah, blah. Terence said he doesn't want to fight Boots, which I'm a little upset about, but I also kind of get it. Who does Crawford fight if he can't next? Like, let's say after he fights Errol, and what we all assume is going to happens, which is another easy victory. Who's there for him to fight? Who's left if it's not Canelo or Charlo?
I would say this. I would say if he fights Keith Thurman, then he will have to. He should have just fought Boots. So he can't fight Keith Thurman for the same reason, not the same reason, but for similar reasons of him not wanting to fight Boots. He doesn't have a belt. He has a great resume, but he doesn't have a belt. And he's chasing big fights. Look who he's calling out. So Keith Thurman is out of the question.
Well, Thurman does have a big mouth, which helps sell tickets. So maybe he would generate more money fighting Thurman.
Okay, but I think we all know how that would end.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I think he should go to 54 and fight somebody that was a contender for Charlo. If you want to get Charlo's attention, how about this? Punch on Tim Zoo, punch on Virgil Ortiz, punch on anybody at 54. Hell, even Tony, for that. You have anybody at 54.
Right.
Hell, Lube is coming back. You know what I mean? I mean, not coming back, but Lube looking good.
Lubin?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you have so many different fights, the Tower Inferno that just got knocked out. You got so many fights at 54 that you could say, okay, look, I'm here, bro. I'm about to whoop your ass. So it's a lot of fights. I would say leave, even though Keith Thurman's at 54 now. If you're going to leave 47 alone, leave it alone, period. Castano, yeah, fight anybody that had any type of anything.
Danny Garcia,
you know?
is in 54 now. The problem is this, though. Bud said very clearly, I only want big money or legacy fights. And none of those names, I feel like, would fall into that category. Really, the only one that would is maybe Charlo or Canelo, and that's it. That's why I'm struggling to think, like, who would he fight next if not one of those two?
Yeah, I mean, he said that's all he wants. So and he's mini pound for pound number one. You know, so he get to call that shot.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah,
I guess so. People talked briefly about him and Tank, but that's a pipe dream.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, that's silly. But speaking of Tank and the division that he's in, I mean, man, that's an all-star division right there. Like the junior welter and lightweight. Who do you think, out of all those dudes, the 35-pounders and the 40-pounders combined, who do you think is the top of the heap? What's that say? Is that Shakur? I can't tell what that is. Shakur. Okay. I hear that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Team Shakur, man. And nothing. I don't take nothing away from Tank. I love Tank. King loves Tank. Shit. Shakur don't have no problem with Tank. Yeah, but we got Shakur running that division, man. And it's unfortunate because he runs it in an awkward way. Because a lot of people don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
And thank God that Frank Martin even signed that contract. Shit.
I mean, why do you think he fought Frank Martin? Maybe you just answered it because you're saying people don't want to fight him. But, we were all expecting Devin, Teofimo, Tank, and instead we get Frank Martin, who's a great fighter, but he's still not at that level of experience as those guys.
Yeah, he's not at that level yet. But
why do you think it's happening?
Because no one wants to sign. I'm telling you. No one wants to sign the contract. I'm here to tell you. No one wants to sign the contract, bro.
Okay.
No one, bro.
Okay.
No one wants to sign that contract.
Okay. I personally think Tank is the number one, but I do think Shakur has all the tools, to be one of the greatest fighters we've seen in a long time. It just, to me, I need to see a little more.
Yeah, and some people have Tank as number one in the division. Some people have Shakur at number one in the division.
Right.
And very little people have Devin number one at the division. So, I mean, it could be a toss-up, but I'm here to tell you that Shakur is definitely number one.
And I'll tell you, man, I think Teofimo is a real wild card because if you get a top-notch Teofimo, he'll give any of those guys major problems.
100%, I agree with that. I've been screaming that for years.
Yeah.
I still got Shakur whooping the shit out of T.O., but if we move up to 40. But other than that, yeah, T.O. is definitely a talented-ass dude.
Yeah, he can fight. So, moving on, before we wrap things up, the heavyweight division is kind of weird right now. I feel like, what do you think about Fury fighting the MMA dude?
Listen, these dudes have gotten to the point in their career, bro, where, bro, they gotta make this money, man. And let me say this. We can sit here and we can say a lot about them dudes, but these dudes trying to make that money. And then, let's be honest, you and I, you in the MMA, Bellator, whatever. I'm over here. Bare knuckles is coming up too. That slap shit coming up too. So just stay and watch for those two because they'll be fighting them dudes in a minute too. But anyway, years down the line, they have years to grow. But I'm just saying. With that said, you fight MMA. I'm boxing. Right, or vice versa, and I say, hey man, come on, bro, come on, Marco, let's go make this money. I'm gonna get on here, I'm gonna talk shit, and let's make this money. You know what I mean? And it makes sense, bro. This dude is this dude Tyson Fury is probably set for life. Even though he should be fight, we all know who he should be fighting. The dude that really got dropped the other day, that really got dropped by a body shot. I don't think Tyson Fury can do that to him at all, not even close. But
you don't think Tyson Fury could do that? What, beat Usyk?
He can't drop him. I think he can beat Usyk. I think Tyson Fury is like one of the coldest.
Man, I think he could drop him because since Sugar Hill came in the picture, he's knocked everybody out. All of them. Well, except the first fight with Wilder where it was a decision. But no, the first fight he wasn't with Sugar Hill. Every fight with Sugar Hill, he's knocked everybody out. I'm just saying. I think he stops Usyk. But anyway, you're saying that he should be fighting Usyk, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not fighting Usyk, bro. So that's what we need to be fighting. But let's be honest, bro. This dude is making money. You think about how much money he's about to make in that fight, bro.
So would you? Because I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. Like, we're assuming this is assuming that he's financially set for his life, which he probably is.
Yeah.
Would you fight? And this is technically his third easy-ish fight because Chisora and what's his name, White were, you know what I mean? So this is his third easy fight. Would you do something like that?
No.
If you had already, no.
If it was a guarantee 150, 70, 60, 40, if it was guaranteed 40% spike up in my on my paycheck, 50% spike, 60%, I would tell my son go for it. Yeah, because ultimately, these dudes, they play a game, but honestly, man, we're all doing this shit for our family, man. We doing this to feed our family. We're not doing this to make fans feel good or any of that. Honestly, let's just be completely transparent. Tyson Fury don't give a damn about none of that. This dude is gonna get way more money fighting Francis than he will get fighting Usyk.
Well, I tell people this. Did you see the Netflix documentary with Fury? Did you hear about it?
With who?
Tyson Fury has a Netflix documentary series that's out right now. It's funny. You know, it's funny. I talked to a lot of fighters and fight people in the industry like you, and a lot of people haven't heard of it in the industry. It's #1 on Netflix for like 2 weeks straight on all of Netflix, not just sports, but all of it. It's called At Home with the Furies. It's like a documentary where they just follow Tyson around in his house and whatever. You should watch it. It's 9 episodes. It's good. But point being, in one episode, Fury comes out and says, I don't want to fight Usyk unless I'm making a lot of money because that's a dangerous fight for me. Not that he's going to lose, but I'm fighting a smaller guy, and if I lose, I look bad. If I get a bad decision or whatever happens, he's like, it's a big risk, so I'm not fighting unless I get a lot of money. So in a way, he admitted that he's like waiting for a lot of money or he's not going to do it. Now, I get it, but at the same time, that's undisputed. Does that mean anything? To him, at least? I guess not.
I mean, again, okay, we all heard. Mama, do you feel like making me a salad? Okay, thank you, man. None? Okay, we all heard that. I'll take the eggs. We all heard that what Floyd said. He said, if Devin Haney was in my camp, then I would tell him to vacate those titles and, woody woo. And we're not in the belt era anymore. We're in the bag era now, bro.
Right.
It's about that bag, bro. And let's be honest. How long has boxing been raping the fighters?
Long time.
Pause. Yeah. So now,
beginning of time, yeah.
Yeah. So now they get to do the same thing. You know what I mean? They get to turn the tables on the politics, on the promoters, on the managers.
Right.
They got you locked in deals. And so with that said, you have a chance to not only feed your family for decades to come, but other people's families. Think about it. Think about how Eddie Reynoso is sitting up. Robert Garcia is sitting up. Think about how all these trainers are sitting up based off of the great Roger Mayweather before he passed away. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't think there's anything wrong with fighters doing that every now and then because when they reach that level where they're at, and all the hard work and all the fights that they've been through, like when Floyd fought Conor McGregor, I wasn't mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I thought it was a great move.
Super great.
Because he fought everybody and their mother, everybody in his generation. You can't take one fight that It's going to be a little easy to get his 50.
Everybody he fought had a name. Everybody was a champion.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody, but from a certain point, everybody else was like fucking world champions.
Yeah.
And I must say this: if you're a corporation and you see your competition pivoting and you don't pivot, you're destined for doom.
It's true.
Doomsday is near.
It's true.
So with that said, as fighters, we are the entity. We are an entity. Boxing is an entity within itself. So boxing is pivoting. And yes, one person, maybe two, might have opened that particular, because be honest, James Toney was one of the first ones to go into MMA. He went to the octagon. You remember James Toney went to the octagon?
Mercer did it right around the same time.
Yeah. So these were some of the first ones. So once that door got open, and then the other one came and bust the door open, and kicked the door down, boxing is pivoting now. And I'd be damned if I allow boxing to pivot and I keep it old school. I always tell my lady this, and she hates when I say this, but it's the truth. It's hard to walk up straight in the cricket system.
I like that.
It's hard to walk straight in the cricket system.
Right. Right. I like that.
Yeah. So boxing is pivoting. Why are you trying to walk straight? You have to pivot with it sometimes. And when you're at that level, James Toney, who'd you say, Mercer?
Mercer did it. Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather. All these dudes have at that level created a blueprint for you to show you can live a marvelous life if you just do this over here. Come on, you know how many times Apple had to pivot? Sure. Look at Macintosh. Hell, you know what I mean? Macintosh. I don't think, did they pivot to even did they get bought out by Apple or some shit like that? You know what I mean? So, or they turn into Apple or some shit like that. So I'm saying that to say, yeah, you have to pivot, man.
Yeah. No, so that's a good point. That's a good point. And I completely agree with everything you said. I guess the one thing I would like to see is an undisputed champion, because I don't think anybody gives Fury. I think Usyk is the only fighter that gives him any kind of a challenge. I mean, do you think anybody else could challenge Fury besides Usyk right now?
No.
Right.
No. Well, but I will say this. I think we give a fuck more as the consumers about the undisputed champions. We give a fuck about the belts more. The belts mean more to us. See, the belt's not hitting our pocket every payday for 2 or 3%. I mean, it ain't hitting. So they like, motherfucker, I don't give a shit. I gotta pay these dudes every fucking fight 2-3%, 4 or 5 different belts. Fuck you, right? Yeah. So with that said, with that said, to be completely transparent, which I think we give a fuck, because when we pay our $85, when we pay our $75, our $50, we want to see a fucking fight.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with it. I think we give a fuck more about them giving a fuck. And to be completely transparent with you, if my son is in that position that he can make a lot of money, and I just read this, right? I'm not a Christianity dude. I'm a Bible dude, but I'm not a Christianity dude. No offense to nobody. Hopefully that didn't mess up anything. But I am a Bible dude. And Proverbs 13:22 say that a good man leaves his children's children an inheritance. So with that said, man, yeah, man. And Proverbs 19:14 say that houses and riches is an inheritance of the fathers. So that's what I teach my sons, man. I teach them that. Nah, you ain't really doing shit unless you leave pay for your own burial before you die.
Right.
Leave your children some money and make it to where they have to work to get that shit.
Right.
And that's probably what everybody else is thinking, Marco. Right. Fuck them belts, man. They probably like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm here to make this money, bro.
I wish everybody would say fuck these belts and just recognize the ring belt and just clean the shit up, make it one title. That'd be great. That'd be great. If everybody just recognized it, or you just need 3 or 4 big name fighters to be like, all I care about is the ring belt. Eventually, it would catch on, and these other corporations, these sanctioning bodies would dissolve.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
I doubt that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Probably not.
Nah, it won't.
Good to think about, though.
Because a lot of fighters also on the upside of it, fighters coming up, they want to have a belt, even if it's an NABF, whatever. It's something. So That's how that is. All right. Well, let me ask you one last thing before we wrap it up. Who are your current? I want to do top 5 all time, and then after that, current top 5. Let's start with this. Who are your top 5 current all time great fighters? Current. Yeah.
Yeah.
Current first, and then we'll do all time great top 5.
Shakur,
Okay.
T-Bud.
Okay.
Can I put my son in there, or no? That's cool. No.
You can do what you want. It's who you think is the best.
Okay. King Jr.
Okay.
Shakur, T-Bud, Tank, Boots.
Okay. And who are your top 5 all time greats?
The reason I say King Jr. is because I've never seen people think, oh, he's a kid. When the last time you seen a 9, 8, 10, 11, 12-year-old fight like this little motherfucker? Floyd wasn't as good as King at that age. Tank wasn't as good as King at that age. You can't name any greats that was as good as King at this age right here.
The only reason I wouldn't include him if I was you is because he still hasn't gone to the pros and you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I know all the potential's there. That's the only reason I wouldn't include it. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So top 5 of all time. Floyd Mayweather, because that was in my era. Roy Jones, Sweet Pea, for fucking sure.
I like it.
Hold on, I always get mixed up right here because
don't forget now you got the Ali's, you got the Sugar Ray Robinsons.
Yeah, I don't know. With this right here, I always battle with Thomas, or Sugar, always.
Thomas
in my 4.
Hearns, you mean?
Hitman, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always battle with them too because Hitman was so good. He just wasn't. He wasn't the most technical sound, but he'd turn and he'd square up on you and he'd just swing and pray he hit you. So that's 3. So I would say Sugar because of his Olympic pedigree and his pro pedigree. Sugar, and then that's 4. I can't say that Ali was the greatest to me. I like how he did George.
I agree with you. And I get a lot of shit for that, but I agree with you.
I don't see it. He was one of the most influential.
He was the greatest outside the ring. As a human being, right? But in the ring, I mean, I say the same thing about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was great, but he lost a lot of his big fights as he got,
Yeah, and he was cool. He was real cool. But okay, so I got those 4, and then I say. I love Evander Holyfield though, bro.
Okay.
And some people be like over Ali, over Tyson. So I'll just say he number 6.
Okay.
But number 5, I'm gonna leave it open because it's Mike, Ali.
You don't think Sugar Ray Robinson?
Oh, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Robinson.
Yes, 100%. I forgot about Sugar Ray. Yes,
I have him in there.
Me and King was just watching Sugar Ray Robinson.
And the problem with that is, the footage is older. It's not as crisp. You don't see as much, but you still get an idea.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate it. Let's chop it up soon.
For sure, man. I'm here for you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right. Peace.